up on LEX 18 News at 6.
Amazing surveillance video, a car used to smash through a gun store.
Hear from the Anderson County man who forced another to eat his own beard. He explains why.
And the fury caused by a book tailored to help pedophiles.
With coverage you can count on, this is LEX 18 News at 6.
It's amazing video, a stolen car used to break into a Lexington gun store. That's tonight's LEX 18 Big Story at 6. Good evening, I'm Nancy Cox.
And I'm Kevin Christopher. Thanks for joining us at 6. Boy, this is one of those crazy stories you talk about at the office tomorrow. Watch this. Glass and debris go flying when a stolen PT Cruiser smashed into the front of Sling Point Firearms on New Circle Road in Lexington. 3 crooks jumped out and went right to work. Adam Baker joins us live near the scene this evening with more. Adam?
Guys, the story starts here at the gun shop. Take a look at this. That crash reduced the business's storefront to this, just bits and pieces of glass that workers have now had to throw away. But this is not where the story ends. In fact, there was another break-in this morning. For more on that crazy course of events, you got to see tonight's LEX 18 Big Story at 6. Thieves wanted inside Sling Point Firearms this morning so bad and so fast they did not even stop their car. The stolen PT Cruiser crashes through the store's front around 2:30 a.m. Glass and guns go flying as security cameras are rolling inside the store and on employee cell phones.
We can actually tap into our camera system on our phone. We have 6 camera angles, and I look on the camera and there's literally a car parked inside the store.
With the store in pieces, the 3 crooks jump out of the car and grab as many guns as they can. In less than 4 minutes, they are gone, but the damage is done. More than $36,000 worth of damage, to be exact.
What do you do now? Now, do we clean up and start again? Do we say, okay, fine, you win?
It's the latest blow in what has been a tough time for the store's owner, Scott Bond. You may have seen his wife before. She's Daniela Gasky, the dethroned Miss Kentucky Latina who was just in court.
You can see in his face he's just exhausted and just like the icing on the cake.
The story isn't over, though. Less than a half an hour later, only a mile away, a car accessory store is broken into. Someone throws a container of antifreeze through the door of Trailblazers. And one last twist for you. The suspect on this surveillance video looks strikingly familiar.
We hope that obviously the officers will apprehend. We'll try to give as much information as we can and as much assistance.
And we can tell you at least 2 of those stolen guns have been recovered. They were found not too far from here, not too far from the store early this morning after that break-in. As far as the investigations into both of these break-ins, police won't say whether they think they are connected at this time. We're covering the news live in Lexington from the LEX 18 Mobile Newsroom. Now back to you.
Could the burglary at the gun store mean more trouble for former Miss Kentucky Latina? It's quite possible. LEX 18's Nicole Pence tells us why.
Former Miss Kentucky Latina agreed to the rules of her plea deal just yesterday.
So you understand not only can you not possess and not work there, but you really probably don't need to be at the business. Is that going to be an issue? I mean, as I said, I don't know much about it, but it struck me as a bizarre set of circumstances out of the blue for somebody who's never been in any trouble.
Less than 24 hours later, Daniela Gasky was inside her husband's Lexington gun shop. Her attorney says the burglary was a family emergency. Gasky helped clean up for a short time and left. In front of Judge Brown in Madison District Court, Gasky pleaded guilty to 2 counts of misdemeanor assault for stabbing a gas station employee with a pen and beating up a 59-year-old pharmacist in September. Gasky's plea deal included clear guidelines that she could not own a gun or work at a business that sold them. When asked Wednesday if the former beauty queen could follow that rule, this was her attorney's response.
It's a court order that she not be associated with it and not possess those, and basically what she's risking is a year in jail in the county detention center if she violates that order.
Since Gasky was inside Sling Point Firearms, Madison County Attorney Mark Robbins says he's investigating. The county attorney tells LEX 18 he does believe Daniela Gasky violated the terms of her discharge and may file a motion to revoke that plea deal. Covering the news, Nicole Pence, LEX 18 News.
To see the entire video of the car smashing through the Lexington gun store, log on to our website, LEX18.com.
Bad news for True Blue fans tonight on the eve of the season basketball opener.
Alan Cutler is live in the LEX18 newsroom with the latest about Enes Kanter. Alan.
There is still hope, but the NCAA is now saying that Enes Kanter has been ruled permanently ineligible for receiving benefits above his actual and necessary expenses while playing for a club in Turkey. Now, while an appeal will happen by the University of Kentucky, and they are going through that process, Kanter will now be able to do something he has not been able to do until this particular point. He'll be able to practice with the team. Enes Kanter, who would be the starting center for the University of Kentucky, has been deemed permanently ineligible by the NCAA for receiving benefits above the actual and necessary expenses while playing for the professional club in Turkey. There is a quote here from UK Athletics Director Mitch Barnard. He says, quote, "We appreciate that the NCAA has an appeals process to allow this young man to defend the uniqueness of his circumstances," end of quote. Continuing another paragraph, he says, "Enes is a great kid who is working hard in the classroom and enjoying being a college student. It is our hope that he will be allowed to continue his academic and athletic career at Kentucky." Once again, Enes Kanter has been ruled ineligible. Kentucky will appeal. While this process is going on, Kanter will be able to practice with the team. He will not be able to travel with the team. That's the story from here. Back to you.
All right, Alan Cutler in our newsroom. Not guilty. It's the verdict a woman accused of poisoning her grandfather heard in a Casey County courtroom today. Brittany Miller's grandfather said back in 2008 she laced his coffee with antifreeze in an attempt to get his estate, but a jury disagreed today. Well, it's hard to comprehend a man who admits he forced his friend to eat his own beard.
Tonight, the man behind this bizarre act explains himself. LEX18's Janice Park is here with more.
Troy Holt says he's a changed man. He's had a heart attack and he's quit drinking. Today he says he's ashamed of that night when he took a beard and shoved it down his friend's throat. It's a crime so strange, it's just plain weird.
Cut my beard and forced me to eat it.
That's victim Harvey Westmoreland, who says in addition to being force-fed his beard, his former friends Troy Holt and James Hill threatened to kill him and his brother with knives. But tonight, Troy Holt says there's good reason he made his friend eat his beard. Holt says Westmoreland and his brother threatened him first.
They drove by my house and threatened me with guns and told me that they had me in their cross arrows.
And he says it was all over a girl. Then in May, throw in an argument over a lawnmower into the mix, along with lots of booze.
We'd probably drank 2 fists between the 4 of us.
Tonight, this 47-year-old says he knows it was crazy.
Beard and stuff I did out of trying to scare them to, to quit threatening me,
But he swears he didn't threaten Westmoreland or his brother, even though he pled guilty to it. Holt says he's been so sick about making his friend eat his beard, it's caused him to have a heart attack. What gave you the idea to even do that?
I think I was in a kind of a mental rage.
A drunken mental rage Holt says he regrets every day. And tonight, Holt says he apologizes to everyone, the brothers as well as the public, but he swears he didn't threaten to kill anyone. Kevin, back to you.
Well, both Holt and James Hill will be sentenced Tuesday.
A controversial book about pedophilia is no longer being sold on Amazon.com after a huge backlash from customers. LEX18's Lee Searcy has more.
The ebook, The Pedophile's Guide to Love and Pleasure, A Child Lover's Code of Conduct, created an internet firestorm, with Amazon.com quickly caving to the pressure, most people sharing the same reaction.
Stop. Disgusting.
The book's author says it offers a code of ethics for pedophiles so that young children don't get hurt during sexual relations with adults. Phillips Graves basically says pedophiles get a bad rap.
Every time you see them on television, they're either murderers, rapists, or kidnappers. And, that's just not an accurate presentation of the that particular sexuality.
Just down the road from Lexington's Amazon distribution center is Morgan Adams Bookstore. And here, there's no doubt.
No.
This read would never be sold here.
We do definitely have a prerogative to take in books that are worthwhile.
They have done the right thing by pulling this book.
Customers like Matt Juarez say while the First Amendment should be considered, privately owned businesses like Amazon clearly have the choice to reject the book.
There's a lot of things in our society that don't make sense, and I think that there are a lot of people who are sick and who need help. And I think that this book is a product of someone in our society who needs help.
By late Wednesday, the book was listed as number 65 on the most popular paid titles on the Kindle store. Covering the news in Lexington, Lee Searcy, LEX 18 News.
And Amazon sells another book with similar subject matter, but would not specify why that book stays and this ebook does not.
And now, Chief Meteorologist Bill Meck and LEX 18 Storm Tracker weather.
Our weather is looking terrific. We had a great Veterans Day. And to all our veterans out there, both past serving and currently serving, thank you very much for what you've done for our country. Our weather again looks great today. Nothing on the MaxTrack Live Doppler. Bigger picture. We've got rain closer. It's in Illinois, it's in Missouri, it's in Arkansas. We've got snow that we will show you on the WeatherBug camera in Nebraska. That's something exciting. Yeah, it's in the low 60s. We're getting a nice little evening slide here. 61 Lexington, Frankfurt's at 62. Same in Jackson, London's at 60. Somerset's still the warm spot at 66. Going through the night tonight, beautiful clear sky. I believe Jupiter is already visible out there. Just out a couple of minutes ago. 43, the eventual overnight low, and enjoy a pretty good November night. But you know, can't last forever.
Why not?
Because we don't live in the tropics.
Therein lies the problem.
Yes, if you looked at us on a map, we're nowhere near the equator.
Maybe I should go toward the equator. Yeah. Gosh, thank you.
All right. Well, as we celebrate and honor veterans today, the Kentucky National Guard is announcing its largest mobilization of troops since World War II. The 149th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade got its orders for Operation New Dawn in Iraq. More than 1,300 soldiers from across the state are set to report to their respective armories in June of 2011. While in Iraq, the Guard will work alongside troops from Virginia and Utah on security operations. A Kentucky veteran is still serving his country years after nearly dying in battle.
How a promise has turned a Marine into a volunteer. Next on LEX 18 News at 6.
A Purple Heart recipient and World War II veteran is still serving his country.
84-year-old Troy Bowling nearly died in Iwo Jima. He's taken a second chance at life and spent it helping other veterans at the VA hospital. LEX 18's Bianca Spinoza has the Lexington veteran's emotional story.
Many veterans he's helped have no idea the man filing their claims survived Iwo Jima.
A shell landed in my area where I was at, but I was off to the side of my squad. It killed a lot of them, and I was reported killed in action.
Amazingly, he came too, though most of his friends couldn't escape enemy fire.
And the sergeant stuck his head up. I said, "Sergeant, go down. They're going to kill you." He got shot between the eyes and fell on my arms.
Bowling got shot too, in the chest. Just as his fellow Marines got him on the boat to evacuate, the Japanese opened fire on the evacuation station.
And I was the only one who got off on that boat.
He made a promise.
I can look God straight in the eye. Ask him if you'll get me off here alive. I'll serve mankind the best way I know how the rest of my life.
And that's what Bowling did, earning honors for his 60 years of volunteer service.
You've got to be a humanitarian to help others to get by.
Bowling has more than gotten by. He's a hero. Covering the news in Lexington, Bianca Spinoza, LEX 18 News.
Indeed he is.
The Storm Tracker forecast is next.